And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, March 7th, 2020. Season 14, Episode 7 on the 7th. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
There we go.
That's it.
That is all we got for you today. I think Nate will be back this week, I believe. So, but regardless, yeah. Me and RJ holding down the fort, watching the XFL, talking to you guys, and just enjoying the day. We do this real quick. Do the clapboard, clappity clap, hoppity hop. There we go.
Good job.
I know. Now, if I could get paid for that, like this is your duty, which this is it. You just go in front of the camera, you list the stuff, hit it, mark, boom. That's your job.
Make sure all the dates are right.
Yep.
All the numbers, all the places and everything like that.
You're the slate keeper. So, anyway, welcome to the show, everyone. Glad to have you here with us. We got some folks in the chat room already. Let's say hello to the 3 people. AC Wraith, Bama Brian, and Multile in the chat room.
Glad you're here, folks.
We are, even though there's only 3 of you. We're fine with that. Because, you know, if I looked over there and there was no one, then it's like, oh.
We still have a show to do.
Well, we do, but people stop listening. We're going to stop doing the show. So, but they haven't. They're still listening, and we're going to still do it. Been doing it now for years. Decades. Yes.
Decade.
Yes. Decade.
Plus some years.
A decade.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, AC Wraith. I totally count. 2, 3, 4 times. Thar 66 just joined us. I wish they had a little. They don't do that anymore. Or do I have the settings turned off?
What's that?
The thing that'll show me when somebody has jumped into the chat room. Used to be able to see that, but maybe not. You know, when like R66, kind of like, well, no, Discord doesn't do that. When you join a server, it does that, but not when somebody just joins in the chat room. Yeah, Thar66 is in there, so glad. He wasn't in. The thing was, I clicked on how many users were in here, and his name wasn't showing up, so I apologize. His name still hasn't shown up on the refresh here, so I apologize if I left you out. I was listening on my PSP through RSS. Oh, man, yeah. PSP with the RSS feeds. Yeah, I remember those. I remember PSP being able to do that. It was fun. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. I pressed a button. My big old fat hand hit a keyboard button over here. But nothing seems to have happened, so that's good.
Never had a PSP. How versatile a tool was that?
The PSP?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, it was all right. It was all right. They really, really tried to integrate it. There was the fact that you could watch movies on it. They were really trying to integrate that whole UHD disc or whatever it was called. I can't remember what it was called.
That's the one with the little plastic outlier on
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole disc that would go in there, and you could pop it in. They really tried to start. Like, they really tried to do another format for that. Like, this is going to be a format for movies you can watch. And the movie still costs like $15, $25. I mean, you know, regular price almost for a movie in that format. And it was horrible. Well, see, it wasn't necessarily horrible because we hadn't hit this yet. The phone stuff. So once this was a thing, the ideas for having mobile media in your gaming system was dead, you know, outside of a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't need. I mean, they put browsers on there now, and now they have things like Netflix, so you can watch on your device if you want to. But it was long before the streaming sort of market came into anything, and long before downloads were a thing. You still were buying physical media to play on your PSP. The thing was beautiful. I remember when I had it, I took it over to James and Dana's place. This is early. They still lived here in town, not across the street from me.
Right.
And I remember buying it, and I took it over there, and I think it came with. I still have my box. Came with like Spider-Man on it, or Spider-Man 2, one of the other. I think it was just regular Spider-Man.
Okay.
Came with Spider-Man, the movie that you could watch, and I had bought Le Mans and Ridge Racer, Katamari. I got for it.
Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had a couple, and there was a Burnout game for it. Burnout Legends, I think, is what it was, and I had some games for it. But man, like most of my handhelds. I really didn't expand that library too much. I am not. It's one of the things that appeals to me on the Switch front is that I have it as a handheld if I want it.
Yeah.
It's there for me to use it. In fact, all the games that I buy on it that I play on using it as a console, I can also just pick the thing up and take it with me if I want. Really nice to have. Do I ever think about it in that aspect? Not really.
Yeah.
But when a new game gets announced, I think, ooh, now I have it portable. The Witcher, now I have it portable. City Skylines, now I have it portable. Whatever else, Animal Crossing that's coming out. Ooh, now I have it portable, because you always had Animal Crossing portable with the 3DS and that sort of thing. But it's just the handheld market was never anything that I should have put anything into, but I did. But they all ended up the same, which was a very small library for me.
Yeah. Same here, because the only handheld I had was the Game Boy Advance, really. SP, I think it was. But yeah, I think I picked that up on a deal for something because I really wanted to play Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and it was on there, and I had a good time with that. But it was like one of the only games I ever got for that thing. I had no interest in anything else on there.
It was mainly because my commute, and this does not, there are tons of people. There are plenty of people that honestly I don't know locally. It's everybody that I know who lives in much bigger cities.
Yeah.
Who commute by
public
transportation. Yeah. Mainly that's how they commute to work and back and whatever. And their commute is a very long commute.
Yeah.
When they have to...
I've heard stories.
Right?
Yeah, I've heard stories.
Like when I want to... when I have to think about, I need to be in... so for those who aren't from around here, who are listening out of town, we broadcast our show out of Montgomery. And most of the things that if you want to do most of these things, you need to go into Montgomery. Now, RJ lives here in Montgomery. When you need to be at the radio station to do the show here, and you look at the clock, what time do you know you need to be leaving by?
I need to leave by 3:40.
3:40 for a show that starts at 4. Well, 3:40 so you can get here at what time? 3:50?
3:45, 3:50. Yeah, around that time.
10 minutes away.
Yeah.
So there's an aspect of it that's different.
Yeah.
I live outside of the town. I live in Prattville, which is about 25, maybe 30 minutes away. It depends on traffic.
Depending on traffic.
And depends on which way you go. If you take the main interstate, you're going to go faster, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
When I leave the house, I need to know that leaving at 20 after will get me there at 40, 45, whatever. That's the commute that I know.
Yeah.
So if I want to get here at a certain time, I know when I need to be leaving by. If I want to get here by 2, I need to leave at 1:30. No, I don't need to leave sooner than that. That's going to put me too early. Whatever. I know that 1:30 I need to be, hey, let's start getting in the car, that sort of thing. So a lot of people don't have, well, I'm not saying they don't have that convenience. A lot of people look at a clock and say, well, it's 3 o'clock. I need to be at work at 4. I should have left 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Right? Because that commute is long for a lot of people, and especially if they're using public transportation. They got stops to make. They got all that thing. And so that's where the handhelds really come in handy for a lot of people. And they will build their library around the handheld system. And that's, I'm on the subreddit for the Vita, which I joined a long time ago, basically looking for deals on memory.
Yeah. Way
back when.
Yeah, I remember that was a big issue with that one. Just the memory was how ridiculous the price was for those
Which
things.
honestly, Sony shoots themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Every time. Sony shot themselves in the foot for the Vita with the memory stuff. They shot themselves in the foot with the PSP. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was the discs, making the media, making the actual physical media
Right.
And everything else was an undertaking, or was a high expense, perhaps. I can't remember. It may not have been that.
Yeah.
It may have been something completely different was an issue, and I can't remember what it was. Because that's apparently going back too far for me. Let's look at the chat room here since I've gotten off on a tangent. Moltas says he had a USB MP3 player that had an old LCD screen. Thar says, I was downloading the episode to listen later, only since like last year that I started watching live here on Twitch. Lethal Migraine. Nintendo has been dead to me for decades. Last handle I had was a Game Boy Pocket. Thar66. Jesse, well, when my schedule works, I enjoy Twitch. Lethal Migraine. Never have cared enough about Sony to buy their stuff. Last non-PlayStation Sony product I bought was a Discman. Yeah.
Classic.
What's the last thing I bought that's a Sony that isn't game related?
I might be in the same boat as Lethal.
I may have. No, I want to say I bought a. I don't know that that's a Sony though. I feel like it's not a 4K disc player that I think I got. But I don't know that that's. I'm not sure that's Sony.
Yeah,
may have been an LG.
Yeah, all the Sony products I've purchased have been gaming related. So
that's the last Sony thing I bought that wasn't gaming related. I feel like I have something, but I don't know. Well, there's a couple of movies that I've purchased that are Sony, Sony Pictures, Columbia Pictures Entertainment, whatever.
Yeah,
what
steelbooks.
Right, like Spider-Man's Homecoming or Far From Home or whatever.
Okay, yeah,
that's Sony-owned property. So okay. But I don't think that counts. I don't think he's throwing it in there. But I think that's as close as it comes for me as to something I bought. No. Well, we have them.
Yeah.
Somewhere, obviously not within arm's length of me to pick them up.
You probably got them downstairs in your drawer or something.
Yeah. A lot of people around here use Sony headphones.
Yeah. Okay.
Not I.
Yeah. Thor says his HD TV is one. Yours is a Samsung?
My HD TV?
Yeah.
No, it's an LG. I got an
LG. Okay.
I got an OLED.
Okay.
When I saved up enough points from Best Buy, redeemable points, whatever. Had a ton of those, and I'm talking a ton, like over $1,000 worth to take off.
Yeah.
So I had saved up a bunch. The price finally hit, not this past Black Friday, but the Black Friday previous. And I was like, boom, now it's time. Yeah. Time for me to get one. Which I probably should have held off because now you got the HDMI 2.0 standard. That is going to be a lot of TVs now and that sort of thing. And prices continually come down, so whatever. Yeah,
Lethal says his TV's got to have the 4K HDR 120 refresh. That's the feature I was looking for, the 120 refresh in the next TV I'd pick up.
Never cared enough about Sony of other stuff. You guys, Orange Lounge Radio and PlayStation Nation podcasts are the two others I've been listening to for like more than 10 years. Thar, we thank you for your loyalty just to continue listening.
Well, thank you much, man. We really appreciate that.
We know it's tough, but thank you for doing it.
We have our moments. That's for sure.
Actually, the charge would be rather restrictive. Not sure how to get the box working with a third-party charger. I only play my Vita during the summer at the trailer park. My HD TV is a Sony. I bought my TV when I got my one, says Lethal Migraine. It's a Samsung, and we'll buy a new one for Series X. Got to have the 4K HDR 120 refresh. Lethal Migraine is talking exactly about HDMI 2.0, which is something that the Series X and I believe the PlayStation 5 will have going forward. But which is not to mean that they won't work with TVs that don't have HDMI 2.0.
Right.
Just means if you have it, it's going to take advantage of it.
Your best visual experience is going to be on that type of television. So.
But more than likely, the way it goes, that any TVs you buy that are manufactured from here on out, from 2020 now through, are going to come standard with the HDMI 2.0, not configuration, but whatever, codec or something like that. But it'll all be there. So. That's pretty much the case for it. Yeah, LG does have nice pictures. They do. They have a fantastic. Their LED screens, their OLED screens, are just Now, I haven't checked out anything new from like CES back in January or anything like that to see if there is a rival to this. I know Samsung have the QLED, which is just a marketing speak, something they can do for branding, but I know that the LGs have the best blacks in the business. And what I mean by that is you need to look that up in the way it's used for a term in screens on television and what they display. When you have a dark object, that's how black the screen can get, how dark it can
Rich
get.
black, dark black.
Yeah, and I know you're thinking, well, dark is dark, right? Black is black. Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily, man.
What you can have is, if a screen's supposed to be, so if there's light in the corner, like if it's a shot down a tunnel, and there's a light in the top part of the screen, top right hand, top left hand part of the screen, like it's a tunnel light, and then there's further lights and everything else. If it's spaced enough where you've got some darkness there, some of that light, some of those pixels can bleed into the other pixels because of the light that's reflecting and everything else. It's not the case. I mean, these are deep, deep darks. These are deep blacks.
Yeah.
They don't look crushed. Crushed blacks, I guess, are when you have, I don't want to say artifacting, but it sort of looks digital.
Is that the one where you see the pixels fluctuating in there? And
you see a little bit of it moving, just a little bit. You can see it. Really good TV screens still have it, but it's harder for you to detect.
Yeah.
OLEDs do not have any of that. I mean, it is the just black, dark. So yeah, LGs have nice pictures. Is it 4K? If you're talking to me about my OLED, yes, it is. It is 4K. Yeah, screen burns on OLEDs. That is a huge scare for people. But the pixel tearing, there's another one that Bama Bryan brought up. But Thar talked about OLEDs and the screen burns that you can get from OLED. They are more susceptible to screen burns. If you go to a place, and this is a site I often visit once every 5 to 6 years when I'm looking for a new TV or a new monitor. The website is called Ratings, or RTings is basically what it's called, rtings.com. And back when I was looking for this TV, they had a burn-in test that was constantly running. They had 4 or 5 different sets all on the same channel, and they were leaving them on all the time.
Thar's especially in the chat room when he says the HP meters always in the same place. So a long session of gaming where your meters are still in the same place, and it can cause some burn in there.
You're mostly fine. I've been playing with. I've had mine for a while now, and I've had no burn-ins. I played Spider-Man on it. I played the entire God of War series on it. I have no problem with burn-ins. Again, I haven't put in the time. If I could somehow, I can't really relate it to the time that I put in Destiny on PC to the time I put in Destiny on PlayStation with this TV set. So it'd be interesting to see how that affects anything with all the stuff that you have on screen at all times, and given how much I played. But so far, there is no problem with burn-in. What you have to be careful is, and this is where it really comes into, and you'll see that on the rating site. Is that the right site? I think it is. Yeah, that's it. What you really have to be careful of is not the video games. Most consoles have a thing where if you're in pause long enough, it does a dimmer and it does whatever.
Screensaver,
which is something, by the way, you can set on the LG, most TVs actually. But the thing you have to watch out for are news channels, and it can be any of them. It can be
overlays all over the place.
CNN, Headline News, Fox News, MSNBC, C-SPAN. It can be any of those news channels. What really kills it is obviously the static on the bottom of the screen, the constant bar on the bottom of the screen that's just ticking news. What's even,
or the upper left-hand corner, which always says something like live with a time or something like that. And like I said, overlays all over the place that stay there and never change regardless.
The other problem the one that the worst, the thing that causes burn-in is the color red. A bright red.
CNN comes to mind right now.
CNN, exactly.
Fox has red, a lot of red in theirs as well.
CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, both,
ESPN.
all of them have red.
ESPN, their ticker on the bottom has a lot of red, has some red in it.
Now we're watching Fox. We got XFL up here, and you got that static Fox XFL logo up there. Mm-hmm. But listen, they go into commercials enough that it's not something that's going to be a problem. Yeah. It really isn't. Plus, that show is only on for maybe 2 or 3 hours. It's still fine. Mm-hmm. You've really got to leave these things on to do this.
Yeah.
They will burn quicker if you have them on. If you're a constant news watcher, you get up in the morning, you watch news. When you come home, you watch news. And you just continue to do that all the time. It doesn't matter the commercials. It doesn't matter how many times you have it turned off or turned on. Mm-hmm. If that is your sole thing, it is going to cause burn-in. But I was never really... I was told in looking at the OLEDs, especially in terms of gaming with burn-in, basically I was told, don't believe the hype on that. It's not an issue. Mm-hmm. It's plenty of people who are worried who don't own OLED screens saying that burn-in is a problem with OLED screens, so they're getting an LED. So don't let it control your decision on that. It is not a problem. And as an owner, I've not had a problem with one. Yeah. You are free, man. If it is something that just scares the hell out of you, go ahead. Get an LED if you want to. If you really want an OLED, but that's your concern, like your main concern, you really have nothing to fear. Yeah. This non-related gaming news is brought to you by our next commercial break we're about to take because we haven't even gotten into anything. Yeah, I wish burn-in went away with CRTs. But they did not. LEDs are good. LEDs have a very, very long lifespan of... Let me go back to that site, and let me link you specifically the burn-in test that they were doing. Because... Let me see. Televisions. Let's go here to television. Brands, reviews, tests. Real-life OLED burn-in test. This was November 15th of last year when they did this, and I'm going to link to you. Let me copy. Putting this in the chat room. By the way, if you want to be in the chat room, I don't know if I ever finished the intro for our show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number, 334-272-9228. 272-9228 is the number. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. Go there. Click on the Twitch link. That'll send you to where you can watch us. If you're listening to us and you don't want to watch us, but you want to get some of these things we're throwing in our chat room, there's a chat room there. I don't even think you have to, sign up. You can just read the chat room and use the stuff that pops up there if you want to do that. We're streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv. Search for us there if you want. But ingamechat.net is really the main place you want to go. To find us and to see us, watch us, and see all this stuff. Another guy who knows a lot about this, and I'll direct you to... I don't know that he talks about it so much on his show because he really sticks to gaming, but it is the name of his show is Angry Centaur Gaming. It's Carrick from way back in the COG days and stuff. ACG is the name of it. But he... From what I understand, he was like a home theater installer type person. Mm-hmm. So he did his research on that. Now he's just strictly doing game reviews. Okay. I don't know that he ever covers any of this in his stuff for ACG, but if you ever shot him an email, I'm sure he would, or hit him up on Twitter, I'm sure he'd give you whatever he could tell you about that stuff. But Ratings is just a fantastic site to use for this. I'm looking at the...
bookmark it if you can.
I'm looking at these. The content, live CNN, football. So they had live CNN on one screen, live CNN with maximum screen brightness. They had football. They had live NBC, FIFA 18 gameplay, and Call of Duty World War II gameplay as well. And they used... what do they got? Long-term performance. We bought 6 LG OLED C7s is what they are. Here's their 20-hour per day burn-in test. I will link you to that one. I want to say that one used different. That's OLED. Okay, so this one that I'm linking now is OLED, LCD, and LCD VAs and LCD IPS. So put that one in there too for you. And this one was done on August 31st, 2017. We started a long-term 20 hours a day, 7 days a week burn-in test on 3 TVs. And this was updated November 15th of 2019. And then they show you some of the burn-ins and stuff. So anyway, it's fascinating to look at. It is great information to have when you're buying a TV. Always do your research. I mean, depending on what you're buying here, depending on what you're going for, if this is a huge, gigantic purchase for you, and for some people, TVs can be, you need to do just as much research as if you were buying a car, as if you were buying anything else that you're going to be spending a lot of money on, that you're going to have for a certain amount of time. You need to make sure that the investment you're putting into it is the right one you want to put in. So always do your research on this.
Oh, goodness. I'm looking at the live CNN results.
Well, yeah, it's going to be bad.
Goodness.
It's going to be bad. That's just the way it goes. So anyway, when we come back, we will dive into games we've been playing, which ain't going to be much for me. I don't know if it's going to be much for RJ at all. But and we got news we're going to talk about as well. We can keep going on the home theater aspect of things if you want to talk about those. I have no problem. I can go days with home theater stuff. RJ's been to my house. Not recently.
But I still remember it.
But yeah, the whole room. What is 7? I got 7 speakers in the main room.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a big screen. Here's the weird part. I've got an OLED in the bedroom, which is honestly where I spend most of my time.
Mm-hmm.
TV, gaming, it's all right there as far as when I use a TV, that's where I use it, is in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
In the main room, where I have a 7.1 speaker surround system, 2 towers in the front, a gigantic center channel, 2 surrounds on the side, and then 2 surrounds in the back. It's a DLP screen, which is old technology. Old, outdated technology. Still looks good, but it's old, outdated technology, and I just don't. I'm just not in there as much as I used to be anymore. And it's the only TV I've got that's got 3D capabilities.
Yeah, we looked at the MLB The Show on there in 3D.
We watched MLB The Show in 3D. I played Uncharted in 3D. I played Killzone 2 or 3, one of them in 3D. 3D, man, 3D had its day. I mean, the Alita film. Well, the home disc, the Blu-ray, whatever, the 4K,
Battle Angel,
comes with the 3D thing,
right?
So, it's just very rare you get a 3D release anymore. So, one day that TV is going to have to be sent to the farm, with all the other TVs. I'm going to have to get a new one because of that room. But right now, I don't use that room, so I'm just not going to bother with it.
Get some smaller next time.
There's Thar with his caps lock again. DLPs were nice TV. That's what he says, just yelling at me. DLPs were, man. See, I went from off the on the cusp of the CRTs going out. I made a stupid decision and bought a 75-inch Mitsubishi CRT television. This thing had 3 CRTVs in the base.
Yeah.
That would shoot up to a mirror and do whatever and then broadcast back to the screen to make a 75-inch image in CRT. A year later, you couldn't find CRTVs anywhere. It was all DLPs and LCDs. And, I ran that thing into the ground as far as I could because it was just like, off the and then I switch, and for whatever reason I switch and I get a DLP TV when LCD is the one that really kind of won that war. Not that they were ever battling, but it really won the war of like, this is the one that's going to saturate the market. DLPs are going out, fading out. We're just LCD is the way to go. It was. Thank God I never got a plasma. Anyway, we'll be back with more of In-Game Chat in just a minute. We have got music here from a game called Camera Obscura. The title of the track is called Ethereal Landscape. Camera Obscura was an interesting... I had to watch some of the video for this. This is again, rolling through my library on Steam and saying, doom, 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 picking that out. So, I don't know if you can see my library from Steam. Feel free to go to it and like pick games for me to use music from for next week or the week after or whatever. Just, pick stuff and tell me what to use. Oh, that thing weighed a ton. It was actually, I'm sorry, I'm jumping back into Thar again.
Mm-hmm.
The TV was in sections.
Yep.
The screen detached from the base, and that's how you moved it.
Yeah.
Because it was a beast. Thing was ungodly huge for what it was doing. Anyway, Camera Obscura had to watch the video on what it does. Basically, it's a platformer, but you are able to snap a quick picture of the screen, and it's kind of like, how you take a big flash and you see you have image retention,
right,
that stays with you. So it kind of does that, and then you can slide the platforms over. The original platforms stay where they are, but the image retention of the platforms you can move around so that you can get to different parts.
Change the terrain.
Exactly.
Change the terrain with the imagery, the after image you got. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what that is. So Camera Obscura, that's what we're about to listen to, and we'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. What's the music kicks in? Oh, it's like Enya.
I expect vocals any second now.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go. Now it's nothing like Enya. Yeah. Welcome back to In-Game Chats. Wow, we call it music for... I'm sorry. That was a great catch. Dude, that was a great catch. They're doing a replay if you wanted to watch that right now.
All right.
You don't care. You're like, no, I'm looking on the show.
I'm looking on the chat right now, but yeah.
I'm pulling down the wrong pot here. This is what I meant to pull out. Welcome back to the show. Watching stupid football. That is from a game called Demigod. You'd have to look that up to find out. It came out in 2014 or 2008, 9. Maybe it's old. Is my main point.
April of 2009.
9. Okay.
Multiplayer online battle arena.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It had promise, but I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It had a cool aesthetic, looked great. But it never clicked with me.
It's not your thing, huh?
No, it really wasn't. Let's go to the phones. We don't have anybody screening calls here, so it's just us.
All right.
Hey, you're on In-Game Chat. Who's this?
This is Chris.
Hey, Chris. How's it going, man?
Hey, now.
Not too bad. Finally feel better. I listened to you last week, but turned out I went to the doctor and he prescribed me Tamiflu. It's been a while since I had got the flu, but I'm...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I've been out. I took a week vacation through him, so I'm feeling completely better now, and I've taken all the medicine and everything, so I'm glad to be over that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you are too.
Yeah. You have any lemon tea?
Huh?
You have any lemon tea with that?
No, but I've heard other things like that about other remedies and all. But
Yeah, let me tell you. Nobody cares about remedies anytime until you're sick, and then when you're sick, everybody wants to give you every single remedy they've ever heard of in their life, and it involves basically something that involves lemon and honey, but it's never straight lemon or never straight honey. It's a mix of the two, or a mix of the two with a mix of some ungodly tasting thing.
Jack Daniels.
Well, that's not necessarily wrong.
Oh, that's the combination I know. Lemon, honey, Jack Daniels.
They already have like a Jack Daniels honey version anyway.
No, we want to get the real stuff, man.
Yeah,
get
real
you a lemon,
honey.
get you a lemon, get you some honey, get you a bottle of Jack, mix accordingly. Take a sip, and there you go.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Have you had a chance to play anything while you've been sick?
No, not really. I've been taking it easy, watching YouTube and things like that on my cell phone and all. But
Yeah.
I got one of those little retro tink devices. It's like a converter that takes composite and component video and S-video signals.
Right.
Yeah.
Converts it to an HDMI signal. So I got one of those for all the old retro stuff, and it has a buffer and it like a line doubler. It's made for the video games now, which it's doing really good, and I've enjoyed it and all. And then I come to find out that one of my old PlayStation 2 role-playing games, Champions of North that I had, didn't want to work. It would go to the load screen, so I took it down to the game store this morning and had him resurface it, which that didn't help any. But and then my PlayStation 2 didn't want to know it was, it didn't know when you had a disc in there. It had those issues with the thing didn't know when to think your door was closed on the system. So he had a broken one of those, and I swapped out the case on it, and that fits that system at least. So now I've just find me another game that's going to work instead of the old one. I don't know what happened to my original one, but oh well.
Yeah, it is something keeping maintenance on those classic systems, man. Like I don't know how long it's going to be before Dreamcast lasers going to be up and disappear, or PlayStation 2 lasers, things like that. I know how to replace them on mine, but the thing is availability. When the one I got goes out, am I going to have another one available? Where do I get another one?
I know.
Yeah,
it's a mess. It's a mess sometimes, man.
That's about like where I'm at with my, and I mean, I know these are just internal parts and that sort of thing, but that's where I sit with my current PC headphone headset that I have.
Yeah.
That Turtle Beach, man, I looked it up after my other one had broken, and I had it for years. I tried to find another one, and they were completely like, they don't make those anymore. So the stock that's left is the stock that's left. That's it. They're not going to replenish. And so luckily I was able to find another set, but yeah, you just kind of worry about that's when it's all going to go.
Yeah, you think about the age of emulation and things. You can emulate a lot of this stuff that out there nowadays, but yeah, there's just something about taking out the old system, hooking it back up, and playing all your old stuff. Like Marvel Capcom 2 still looks awesome on that Dreamcast, man. Instead of all the other systems there, because all the other ones are like emulated to a degree. But Marvel Capcom 2 is made on a Naomi board, and the Dreamcast is a Naomi system. So yeah.
Oh. Well, Chris, we appreciate you calling as always, man, and hope you continue to get better and enjoy your games.
All right, y'all have a good afternoon.
Take care.
Take care now. See you later.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick on the games that we played, I have not played any Destiny. That may change come Tuesday when the new season releases.
Yeah.
New season releases on Tuesday. And just to let you know, and you may not know this, but we've talked about this, and to try and explain it again, I'll try and be as quick as possible about it. They've moved the cap up to 1,000.
Okay.
The soft cap is 1,000. The hard cap is 10 above that, so 10-10.
10-10. Okay.
Yeah. The way to get up to the 10-10 level, getting up to soft cap you can do by just playing regularly.
Yeah.
You'll get stuff. To get up to 10-10, you would have to do the pinnacle things, which are basically the raids and the Nightfall.
Yeah.
And it was like only 2 or 3 things that would give you pinnacle things. Well, they're going back mid-season of this next season. They're going to switch it back to the way it was. 3 strikes will get you a pinnacle drop.
Which type of strikes, though?
The regular heroic strikes.
Heroic, okay.
Yeah, regular heroic strikes. You do those 3 in the playlist.
Okay.
You'll get that. You do 3 matches of Gambit. You get that. You do. Well, no, it's back the way it was.
No, the fact that I know it's back the way it was, but the fact that I have to play Gambit and PvP stuff. Not a fan.
I know you're not.
But in order to get the good stuff, you have to. I have to force myself to play those modes of gameplay. So
it's only 3. You only have to play 3 of them, man, and that's it. And it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You get the thing at the end anyway. Mm-hmm. Just like with Crucible, you play 5 matches, you get the thing at the end, you're done. You know, that's it for the week, and then you can come back. So changing all that stuff up. Anyway, that kicks off Tuesday. We'll see how much I'm into it or not. It's been a long break from the grind of Destiny that I was on, and we'll see if that that burn is still there for me to that drive. Let's see if that drive is still in me to continue to do that. We'll find that out come this week, really, and see if it's there. It feels like it's not. I'll tell you that. It feels like it's not there. But, I'm the same guy that said I'm never going to get a Switch, or at least I don't care about getting a Switch, and then I bought it one day, day of launch day.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I'm going to be on Tuesday.
I guess it depends on the type of loot you get.
It'll be the high. No, you know what? Here's what will happen. I'll be at work. I'll be at work when it goes live.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking at Reddit, scrolling through and seeing all this oh, this is cool, this is amazing, you got to see this. And you know what I'll do? Then I'll get home and I'll log on to take a look at all this stuff. Well, let's see. And sucked right back in. Right back in. So anyway, what I did play was Doom. And boy, I wish I could give you some sort of, what's the term? Not necessarily insight, but something meaty of opinion of here's the way they're doing it, and I like this, and I don't like this, and this is a good mechanic that they've entered, and all this is give you a really nice.
It sounds like a review.
Well, I would love to. Not necessarily review. I can give you a review right now. Is it good? Yes. Is it bad? No. Review done.
Okay.
But something that has got some substance to it. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't. This is Doom.
So you know what you're
go
getting.
in there and you shoot stuff, and that's it.
So it's like if I were to say something like MLB The Show, it's baseball. You hit ball hard as you can.
Yeah, I know, but you may have insights into they've taken away this aspect or they've tweaked this aspect. You may have some insights to that.
Well, like we said before with sports games, there's not much you can change nowadays.
There isn't.
Yeah.
But they've got career mode. You've got all these different things that you can look into.
Yeah. Okay,
Doom is. What difficulty do you want to play? Here you go. Shoot stuff and play our game. There is no subtlety to it. There's a narrative that is put in there so that you play the game, but that you keep shooting the stuff, or so it can have a thread.
But it's still the same thing, isn't it?
There seems to be a better narrative than what there was in like Doom 60, not Doom 64, but Doom 3. I think the old one was really dark. More narrative, I suppose, than any other Doom's ever had before. I am not very far into it, but it feels like this is a narrative that is worth expanding. And I could be not far enough into it to even maybe the substance is there.
Yeah.
Come later.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it doesn't feel like there's going to be. It's just go forth and kill. Which is exactly, it's Doom, man. I wish I could. It is the.
They want to kill you. You want to live. There's the conflict. Have at it.
No, I can't even give you that. I was going to say it's the hot dog of video games, but you know what? Hot dog has subtlety. Hot dog has the way you dress a hot dog, depending on how you go about it. Do you do the relish? Do you do the tomatoes? What do you do with chili?
Sauerkraut.
You want chili on top of it? You can do that as well.
Sauerkraut coleslaw.
Right,
actually.
exactly. So there's multiple ways to enjoy this. Not so with Doom. It is straight up like you go and this, boom. And I'm trying to think of something so bland. It's not necessarily bland, but just something that is this one trick. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's got this one thing. You're a Marine. You're a Space Marine with a big gun. Go kill things.
Yeah.
See, Lethal Mike. See, that's what I was getting with. He was talking about Chicago style. You get the sesame seed bun. You get the or not the sesame seed, poppy seed bun.
Poppy seed, pickle, tomato, and lettuce.
No. Poppy seed bun, tomatoes, pickles. And mustard, of course.
Yeah, not relish, pickles.
Oh, no.
Spears.
Relish is on there, but it is this radiation green relish. You have not seen relish like you've seen on a Chicago-style hot dog, man.
Okay.
Stuff glows. And it is fantastic. It's wonderful. God, it's good. Anyway, so I haven't had a Chicago-style dog in a long time. Used to be some great places around here where you could go get those. They are gone, but yes. Anyway,
time to go home and make
there you
one
go. Bama Bryant says the Tony Basil of Doom games.
Wow.
Yeah, right? It's the "Oh, Mickey, you're so fine." It's the one-trick pony. Boom. It's the one-hit wonder. I don't want to say one-hit wonder because Doom 3 was a good thing for them. Doom 2, then Doom 3, Doom 64, this Doom. I mean, they really haven't had a bad one in the bunch. I think Doom 3 kind of had some issues. People had some issues with it, but it's a winner. But there's just not much to say more about it, you know? Mm-hmm. I really can't go in depth on anything about it. Mm. There's not really many mechanics. You got guns, you got jumps, that's it. There's no subtlety to this. There's nothing like, I like the way the characters interact or they talk or what. No, there's nothing. Mm-hmm. So far that I've gone into. So, as I play further, if I get around to it and play further, maybe I've got some more to say about it, but that's it. So, Doom for me, that was all. What about you?
Street Fighter V, played a little bit of that. A little more gaming sessions on that. And I forgot to mention it last week, but that Doctor Who pinball at GT South, I gave that a try.
Did you play some pinball?
I played some pinball.
Buddy,
it took me a minute to figure things out. Man.
It does. What's he got for the play? It's a quarter a play?
It's a quarter a play. One quarter,
three balls.
One quarter, three balls to play. And
you'll never get this opportunity, but the way that I do that, when I go to the pinball museum in Seattle, they've got everything on free play. You go in, you pay them ever how much. They put a wristband on your wrist, and you're able to play everything. And then when you walk out, they take the wristband off. Yeah. You can get a wristband that's just for as long as you're in the place, or you can get a wristband for the day so that you can come back later.
Yeah.
What I do to get a feel for a table is when I have that ability, and you won't really have this ability, but you might. At a quarter a play, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I will go up to a table, and I'll hit the start button 4 times to activate 4 players.
Okay.
And I will play all 4 of these. Mm-hmm. That's the best way for me to get accustomed to it rather than playing it one player at a time type of thing. Mm-hmm. Now, you probably don't get that opportunity at GT because people want to play it. Put your quarter in and then you play your balls, and then the guy behind you, they come in and they play, and then whatever. Yeah. So, but the easiest way for me to do it is to get that accustomed. I activate all 4 players and I play, unless I already have a familiarity with the table. Mm-hmm. That's only usually on new tables, and once I get that familiarity, I just stick with the one.
Yeah, I didn't have any familiarity with the table. That's right, because it took me like 2 plays to realize, oh wait, there's a third flipper there. Dang, I didn't even notice that there.
Oh, I do that before I even launch the ball.
Yeah.
Once I put the quarter in and everything's good, I will hit the flipper. You've seen some of my Sunday silver ball things that I used to do. Mm-hmm. I would look at a table, and you can do this on a digital table.
Yeah.
I would hold the button down so the camera could free flow, and I'd move it around and look at the board because I'd want to see where my lanes were. Mm-hmm. Where's my lanes, and then where's my flippers?
Yeah.
I know I've got the 2 at the bottom, but do I have any satellite flippers on the left or right, or even up at the top?
Yeah.
Is there anything up there? Do the flippers change the light up lane? Mm-hmm. Where the ball can drop into and light up those lanes. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Mm-hmm. Sometimes tables don't even have that.
Yeah.
So it's all about like where does it go? And with a digital game, they have instructions. I could read the whole thing to figure out do all this to make this happen. I never do because you don't get that opportunity when you walk up to a pinball machine.
Yeah. That was like my thing was looking at where can I go on the left flipper? Where can I go on the right flipper? Where can I go off of this satellite flipper? Where can I go from here? I'm trying to figure out
satellite
on
flippers
the way.
are placed for a reason.
Yeah.
So if you see a satellite flipper, look across from it to see where is that thing aiming because that's something that it wants the ball to do.
Yeah.
So they're all there for a reason. Love my pinball. AC Wraith says he misses Sunday Silver Ball. Man, I should have been bringing that back since I haven't been doing my Destiny stuff. I don't have any new tables. They've been bringing some new tables to the Pinball Effects thing there, and I've lost my contact with the Pinball Effects guys. I don't even get the tables anymore, but I start that back up. Maybe I can.
Yeah. You play on Steam, right? Or
Yeah.
I think I had Pinball FX 3 on there on a PS4. I think I bought a 4-table set on there once and gave those a try.
Yeah.
I think it was on the some Alien Invasion one, the one with the big robot in the upper left hand corner. I think I played that.
I know the one you're talking about. But I can't remember the name.
That's when I played. Yeah,
cannot remember the name.
It was good. I might have to look into those again, see what's available.
Anyway, we're over time. We got to go. When we come back, it's rare that my day job gives me anything to use during the weekend, but this one did.
Oh,
where's the survey? What's the survey from? Hang on, let me see here. Comes from Hollywood Reporter. We'll talk about it. We'll see. We got more in-game chat coming up. Here is a game called Murderous Pursuit. It is the main menu music. We'll be back with more in-game chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. This comes from, and I am surprised if I have never used this music before, but Alice, Madness Returns. American McGee's Alice. As the title liked to tell us all the time.
It was a good game.
Never played it.
Madness Returns, PS3, yeah.
That's the main theme for the game.
Yeah. It's supposedly. I mean, I heard of the original on PC, but I never played it. But I think it was on.
This was the sequel, wasn't it?
A sequel, yeah. It was like it was on a lark. I picked it up. It was like I think it was like $20. I'm like, not much. I'll just give it a shot and play it. I started playing that thing, and I never put it down. It was one of those things that just kept my interest, and I just kept going all the way through until I got to the end.
That's always good.
Really good game.
So in the morning. I say in the morning, Monday through Friday. I'm on in the mornings here with Greg Budell, Rich Thomas. Greg sits here. Rich sits over there where RJ is. I sit where you would normally see Nate or Matt. That's where in the big chair is normally where I sit. Anyway, we got something that came in that I asked them to hold on to. This was on Tuesday, and it was America's 20 most wanted video game movies.
Okay.
A survey asked people what video games should be made into movies. This was because of Sonic the Hedgehog, made $200 million worldwide. It's only a matter of time before we get more movie-based video games, of course. The Hollywood Reporter asked its readers which games would be made into movies. Here are the top 20 responses, along with the percentage of people who'd be interested. Number 10, StarCraft. 13%. 19, Pong, with 14%. Pong. They want that to be made into a film. This feels like some of the answers just came from people who are like, I like this game. I'm going to, and I know this game, so I'm going to use it.
All I can think about is some Disney type underdog story, Pong, or that subplot in Forrest Gump.
I'm telling you right now, every single one of you in the chat room or listening, some of these you might guess, but most of your guesses that you'll make aren't going to make the list. Number 18 was Metroid.
I can see that.
Yep, I could too.
I can very much see that.
Probably be a really horrible sci-fi thing on Sci-Fi.
Nah.
But, yeah.
The baby.
Number 16 was a tie between Spyro the Dragon, which I could see as an animated feature.
Yeah, animated.
Totally.
Yeah.
For kids, I could totally see that being. But Spyro the Dragon tied with the Elder Scrolls, which is one I could see.
Okay.
Like, I could see the Elder Scrolls almost like an HBO Game of Thrones type thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you have so much to cover. With
you got multiple seasons right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have multiple seasons on that one.
So much. Oblivion, Morrowind. I mean, there's just so much. Skyrim, there's just so much there.
Yeah.
That I think you'd be better off doing a series rather than doing a movie.
You can't do a single movie on that, no. Yeah.
You could do some condensing. Or you could pick one thing and use it. Like here's the Morrowind movie, here's Skyrim movie, whatever.
Like I say, you put in one movie, you got to put the sequels out. Yeah.
That's a good Thar says Witcher type. That that's a good idea for like Netflix and stuff. I'm not so sure that Netflix doesn't see what The Witcher did and say, okay, is there any other properties we can pick to out of the gaming ideas and pull those and see if we can do something.
Oh, that reminds me, Castlevania Season 3.
I started watching some of that last night.
Dang, I forgot to start that. Yeah, Castlevania Season 3 is on Netflix right now.
I want to say I watched the first 2 episodes, started the third, but I was drifting, so I turned it off.
Yeah.
So I got to go
good,
back.
Man. That was good.
But yeah, started that last night.
Okay.
Let's see. Number 15 was Fortnite.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess there's characters in Fortnite.
It's characters, but is there a story?
They could make one.
I never got into it and played it much, so
you don't necessarily need. The game itself doesn't need a story as long as if you can use the name, the likeness, and everything else, and then build a story around it, you're good to go.
Okay.
Which is why Pong still like boggles my mind. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Then again, like Bama Bryan says, they did Battleship. And if I looked at Battleship, I'd be like, well, how do you turn that into a movie other than just it's Battleship? But then they somehow did. They somehow turned the grid-based system of Battleship into a movie. And it was crap, but for whatever reason, I loved it.
So bad it was good?
Not necessarily.
Wait, wasn't Rihanna in that one?
I think she was. I really, really liked it. But I only liked it out of just maybe it was the sheer stupidity of it or whatever. I mean, maybe as a guilty pleasure is the reason I liked it.
So it should it not have been called Battleship? It had a totally different title or something like that.
No. Well, at first you would think. At first it's like they just licensed the name, and they're going to throw something in there. But no, I'd say even more than halfway into the film, almost closer to the end, like the aliens that are attacking, actually
aliens.
Yeah, it's aliens. Yeah. It's aliens. They attack.
Okay.
The aliens that were attacking actually laid down this like grid system thing and started firing stuff. It didn't capture the spirit of the game.
Did anyone say anything like D6 or?
I don't know. Maybe you sunk my battleship. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a while, but I really kind of enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's still probably brutally stupid and horrendous, but for whatever reason, I enjoyed it. Okay. Number 14 is Minecraft. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, I want to say, don't they already have? Isn't there a Minecraft animated series or something? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the episodic Telltale stuff.
Oh, okay.
Minecraft stories, whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Number 13, Red Dead Redemption.
It's pretty much virtually a movie
right?
in and of itself already.
Fits itself. Yeah. Number 12, the Oregon Trail.
Dysentery.
Right?
Yep. Somebody's down to dysentery in this movie.
I mean, it's the Oregon Trail.
Yeah. Everybody's down to dysentery in this movie. Yeah, that's how it ends.
Somebody has to.
Yeah.
If you don't, then I can't take you seriously as an Oregon Trail movie.
No one dies of dysentery.
Number 11 really has already been made into films, but this is such a broad title.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
This is so broad.
A lot of material to come to pick from, so yeah, you have that going for you.
I mean, again, you could do this in a series sort of way. Here's Final Fantasy, and we're focusing on, whatever.
7's the most popular of the group, isn't it?
7, yeah.
Yeah, so most likely be pulled on that.
I
know they got Advent. They got Advent Children. I remember
right.
That one.
You do 7 first. That's the whole point, though. Is Final Fantasy as a game series is an anthology series. Mm-hmm. It's just the name stays the same, but the characters change, the settings change, the stories change. Mm-hmm. It's very to put it into perspective, it'd be American Horror Story-ish, which is a new. You get a new story each year. Nothing. I don't know if anything connects in the American Horror Story series, but it's just like that. Mm-hmm. Something new. Same sort of actors at least, but different, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Halo at number 10.
Okay.
Not bad. I want to say they're doing a TV series, I thought.
Yeah.
Tried to do a movie. I think they're doing a TV series. Mm-hmm. Legend of Zelda at number 7.
I think someone's working on that already?
I don't know. It's Nintendo. They're kind of...
Yeah, okay. Could have sworn there was a story about on that couple of years back, maybe.
Number 6, Call of Duty. This says there's currently a movie in the works for Call of Duty.
Okay.
Which is fine. Number 5, Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto is one that Grand Theft Auto could also be an anthology series.
Yeah.
Because you could cover the main characters from each one. Yeah. You could come up with your own main characters.
Yeah, come up with your own character. Yeah, be one criminal's some life in Liberty City or something like that.
AC Wraith. I love that. Well, excuse me, princess. Oh, man. There's a whole montage of that from the Legend of Zelda cartoon.
Yeah.
Excuse me, princess.
Yeah.
Number 4, Donkey Kong, which is essentially King Kong in itself. I mean, not necessarily that he was captured from...
we're talking Donkey Kong and the original or Donkey Kong Country?
See, that's the thing. They've come up with this whole Donkey Kong backstory now.
Right, Donkey Kong, we got DK.
Right.
Yeah. Which one we talking about?
I don't know. They don't say.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, I think you could do because if you do Donkey Kong old school, then you got to bring Mario into the mix. Mm-hmm. And if you're bringing Mario into the mix, then you need to just do Super Mario.
Yeah, another universe. Yeah.
Basically, just throw out do Super Mario Odyssey.
Even yeah.
Basically, and then because when he gets to New Donk City, whatever it's called,
Donk City,
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, there's this whole thing of where there's Donkey Kong, and it's got all the I mean, just make Super Mario Brothers Odyssey. Number 2 is another tie.
Okay.
between Pac-Man.
I don't know how Pac-Man's going to work.
Pac-Man had a cartoon series a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Because it had the whole Pac family.
I remember that, yeah.
So cartoon, sure. You can probably go with that. You can probably go that route. The only time I've seen Pac-Man in a movie are Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and that movie with Adam Sandler.
Pixels. Yeah.
Mario Kart tied with Pac-Man. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
And the number one
Drum roll, please.
video game which should be made into a movie is really stupid because it's already been done, Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, so I got that one.
Of course, there was that bizarre. This is from their from what they say. Of course, there was that bizarre 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie. Bob Hoskins and John Gonzalez. There's already an animated Mario movie in the works as well with is it the Illumination guys, the Minion guys?
Oh, okay.
Aren't they the ones doing it?
Oh no, I haven't heard anything about that.
I believe they are.
Yeah. So if you had to pick if you had your choice of next movie coming out, something like that,
For video games?
like pick something like that. Like for me, I'm thinking
Out of this list or just out of anything?
just something that didn't make the list that you think should have been there. Like for me, I'm thinking Fallout.
Not bad.
Fallout. Like I'm trying to think between probably 3. I think 3 would be the better one instead of 4.
For me, Last of Us.
Last of Us. Okay, yeah.
That story, and that's a hard call between. I want my Uncharted because I do want I miss my Indiana Jones, and that's as close as I get to my Indiana Jones. And you know, I miss that, and I know that they're working on something or whatever.
They are working on something with Last of Us, I believe.
Well, the HBO series.
Yeah, HBO series,
picked up Last of Us, which is fine. That's good. I'm okay with that. But for Last of Us was just the story there was fantastic.
It's kind of like what we said with Red Dead Redemption. Redemption is like a movie in and of itself already.
I could take Red Dead too, man. I could take a Red Dead Redemption as well. I could go for a wet. God, man, I miss my Deadwood. Ugh. And I'm glad they did the movie, and the movie was fantastic. I'm glad they were able to pull that off. But
wait a minute, God of War didn't make that list, did it? No one picked God of War.
No
one said God of War.
No, and I tell you, the God of War, both the God of War from the early PS days and the God of War that we have this other
Right
one
now.
where it ventured into Viking territory, Norse mythology.
Norse mythology, yeah.
Both settings could easily work for anything you want to do with that. I would love that. Do yourself a God of War movie and then make the sequel into Norse mythology. Move it into Chinese mythology, or go into any direction you want to go.
Yeah.
You've got the Greek mythology. Go with Russian mythology. Go to something, I guess, if there is any. But go to any of that stuff. I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see. It looks like the sequel that they're going to go with God of War, if the teaser is anything to go on from what happens at the end of that game, looks like they're sticking with Norse mythology. So, which is fine. They can do that. But yeah, God of War would be another good choice. Last of Us, Uncharted, of course, is another one that I wanted to pick. You were right with God of War. Red Dead Redemption is another good one to go on. Halo is already on that list, as I think it should be. Gears of War wouldn't be bad.
I see that enough story there.
Yeah, Gears of War wouldn't be too bad for just a movie. Just do a movie.
I'm trying to think if any of the Soul series games would do it.
Dark Souls?
Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Bloodborne.
I was going to say Bloodborne is the one that I would feel
the best would be the best movie choice out of all the
Bloodborne's
series,
the good one for that one. That's the one I was. When you mentioned Dark Souls, I was thinking, Bloodborne. Well, Shadows Die Twice might not be bad either.
Oh, Sekiro,
yeah, that might not be bad.
Speaking of which, Ghost of Tsushima. Did you see the trailer for that?
I did with a June or July 26th.
I think it was June of 2020, which means I've got to get on the ball and finish Sekiro before I pick that up. I really do.
You're going to go from samurai to samurai on this thing, aren't you?
Yeah, samurai to samurai, pretty much. Yeah.
So you think you ought to take a break in aesthetics?
No.
No. Shake something up there?
No, not really.
Okay. Stick with it then.
No, have at it. So I'm trying to think of anything else. Any other video game titles that could make a good film.
I mean, Witcher's already being done, obviously, with this series, and I would have easily picked that if that wasn't already done. Castlevania's turned out fantastic.
The animated series, like we said earlier, it's turned out real good.
They've done really well with that, so I'm good. See, but then we've got, how many Resident Evil movies got made?
4 or 5.
Too many. Let's put it that way. too many Resident Evil movies, and I really think they could do a really good, decent Resident Evil film.
Yeah, they could.
For that matter, I think they could also do what's that other? There was another scary game that wasn't Resident Evil.
Dead Space.
Dead Space would be fantastic. Dead Space would be wonderful. They made a Doom movie. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Max Payne had potential to be fantastic, and they screwed that up.
They messed it up. How about Bayonetta? Or would that call? I know there's an anime. I know the anime version that they made. I think it was a 90-minute anime film.
Silent Hill is the one he was talking. Silent Hill is the one I was thinking. That was,
Silent Hill was good. I got that one. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed it.
Bayonetta. I mean,
or would it offend someone in this day and age?
No. Whoop, we got phone calls.
I don't know.
It's not going to offend anybody in a sense. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they could do it. I think they could do it right where it wouldn't. I have no idea how long this phone's been ringing. Hi, you're on in-game chat. Who's this?
This is Chris again. Y'all were talking about the movies based on video games, and another one that came to mind. If nobody's ever said something about it, would probably be Star Ocean for me. That would be a good one.
See, that's another one to look into, like Chrono Trigger, Star Ocean, Earthbound. There's so many of those RPGs from the SNES and NES days that could probably work. Secret of Mana.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one too.
That would work. That could work. There was, and I don't know if you played it, but To the Moon is fantastic. I don't know if you've played that. I think it's only. I don't know where it's out, but To the Moon was a wonderfly done story, and I think would be beautiful to do animated or otherwise, maybe CG, whatever. But yeah, would be that's a beautiful story.
Yeah, I remember
it's short, but it's great.
I remember one Disaster Report. What how good of a movie that would do, or Raw Danger.
Don't they already do that? Don't they already do? Don't they? Wouldn't that be a disaster film?
No, the video game called Disaster Report.
Oh,
you ever heard of it?
I mean, I think so. Isn't that where like
you're a news reporter who comes into this newly built city, and it has a earthquake, and you try to survive. You try to survive the entire day, but at the same time, you're getting information of why the city is falling apart like it is.
Oh,
so you got a conspiracy, disaster, and survival all wrapped in one.
Reminds me of that movie with Cusack. Was it 2012? What was that movie that was like
John Cusack?
It was the World Is Ending movie, and it was just a year.
Wasn't he like a limo driver and him and his daughter?
I think so. Yeah,
I forget the name. It may have been 2012.
Yeah, they're on a runway in a plane, and it's trying to take off as the ground is falling beneath them, behind them as they're moving.
Yeah.
I thought it was called 2012. But,
yeah. Oh goodness. Goodness.
What was it?
The game we're talking about, Disaster Report, was from 2002. Irem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's based on a Japanese game called Zetai Zetsume Toshi, The Desperate City. Yeah, there's like 4 of them in Japan.
Yeah.
And the latest one is Disaster Report 4, Summer Memories. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
Bama Bryant says it is. It's 2012 was the name of the movie. So.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Well, Chris, we appreciate it. We got to take a break here. We're coming up on the time, but yeah, those are good. Those are good suggestions for us.
Yeah, and y'all were talking about Advent Children on Final Fantasy. You know, they did have another one on that one before, but thank God that Advent Children was the way to go for them. You know, the other one was horrible. But anyway, y'all have a good one.
You too, man. Take care.
Thanks, Al.
All right. All right. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, this is a topic we could go on.
Oh yeah,
for another 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I knew whenever we did this, I was like, "Oh, save that paper." He saved it for me. He's like, "Save that," because I'd like to cover that, especially when he did the top 5, and I just did not agree with any of them.
Yeah, because like I was thinking, it was going through the list, but this title would make why are these titles not on the list? So I knew it was going to be talking about things that would have been better choices for that list.
I'm trying to think of something. You know, I'm not sure how it would play off, but I always wanted, and it was used in a film, but I always wanted Shadow of the Colossus. And I always wanted the Last Guardian. I think would be great. Last Guardian would be great just because this is what that game is exactly what a movie of that type would do. get attached to a character, have a good, you know what it does.
Yeah.
You know what it does.
Heartstring tugging
Yeah.
already.
Brothers, good one, man. Lethal Migraine says Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Yes. That's another one. That's another one that's fantastic. So like I said, we could keep doing this all day. If you want to send us your suggestions, shoot us an email, shoot us a tweet when we put this out there tomorrow. You can do it while we're doing the show, even if you want to do that, if you've got a list of them. Because I don't necessarily think there's really a wrong answer to any of those questions, but
Yeah, but some of those suggestions on that list really made no sense.
yeah,
Pong
was the one that really stood out. Fortnite, I could see them doing if they're not even. They should already be planning to do that.
Wait a minute, you still got the list with you?
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah. Who did they ask?
It was. I guess I threw it away.
Okay.
That's odd. I don't remember throwing it away. Yeah. It was a Hollywood Reporter.
Okay.
And they asked their readers.
Okay, the Hollywood. Okay, the readers. Okay.
I'm trying to think of other games that are like huge. Rocket League would be one of the most interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to see Rocket League done good. I wouldn't give two flips about the story.
Windjammers.
Windjammers would be great.
A movie about Windjammers.
Rocket League, honestly, we're already at Rocket League status with the amount of Fast and Furious films. Basically, it would just be one of their sequels, Fast and Furious 17, Rocket League, and it's just, we got to get this family, blah, let's battle in the arena. Big soccer ball, let's do it, you know?
Big soccer ball, yeah.
That would be it.
Cars doing flips, rockets everywhere.
Same
Cars
thing.
flying. There
You
go.
would not know the difference between a Fast and Furious film and Rocket League.
Where's Vin Diesel? He's not in this one.
Plague Tale is a good answer there, Multile. I agree with you on that one. So, Anyway, let's go to our break. When we come back, we'll hit up some of this news that we've been not doing anything with. We have got music here from Iron Grip Warlord. It's a tank game kind of thing. I don't know. Iron Grip Warlord. This is called Incoming, the name of the track. Name of the track. We'll be back with In-Game Chat after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Sounds like a football theme. That's what this sounds like to me.
Yeah, too regal.
Anyway.
Medieval fantasy to me.
This is from Leviathan Warships, which is basically Battleship.
Without aliens.
Without aliens.
Maybe. Does say Leviathan, so we don't know where that come from.
So that's what that comes from. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. We have Multal on the phone, and we're going to go to him here, but I wanted to say there were some good suggestions there from Bama Brian with Overwatch, Mass Effect, Mirror's Edge, fantastic. Mass Effect is a great suggestion. That's one I didn't think about. Yeah. Mirror's Edge is good too. You get that parkour type thing, but Mass Effect would be wonderful. Hey, Multal.
Hi, hoy, hoy.
All the way from Ireland.
Of course, north of Ireland. Staying up late to get on the show. Of course.
What time is it there?
It's 20 to 12.
All right. Now you guys don't observe time changes and stuff, right?
Oh no, we do. They have their time changes, of course. It's only about an hour, so they'll flip around at some point. I'm never good at this sort of thing.
Well, for us, it's tonight.
This Sunday. Yeah.
It's tonight. Yeah, we're gonna. When we wake up in the morning, we'll be an hour ahead.
Joy.
Yeah. So remember that if you're
never good when that happens, of course. But
right. I can remember on the chat room, people were like, "Oh no, it started. I'm an hour. I forgot about the time change."
Yep.
So,
you ever miss work from that? Or
me?
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Okay. Or come in early?
No. I've never had a problem with the time change because my phone always updates, and it's never been an effect for me.
Okay.
So, never been an effect or a problem or anything like that. So, Multal, what's on your mind, buddy?
Oh, no, I thought I'd just stick around for the news and see how you guys are doing.
Well, that's good because Thar brought up something that I was going to get into. Let me see if I can hit up some real quick hits before I jump into that. Final Fantasy VII Remake got a demo on the PlayStation. I don't know, you can pick that up, play that if you want to. Death Stranding PC got a release date of June 2nd. Let's see. We got BAFTA award nominations. I may save that for next week. Halo 1 Combat Evolved got a release date for PC. I do want to. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna talk about.
Okay.
But we'll get to that in a minute. Let me see. Yeah, this whole there's so much stuff shutting down because of the coronavirus that E3's future as well as PAX West. PAX has not announced dates for the Seattle convention this year so far.
Yeah.
They also haven't announced a reason why they haven't announced dates or that there's anything out of the ordinary because they haven't announced dates yet. They just haven't announced dates. So I can't tell you that it's because of coronavirus or it's because of this. They just haven't said anything yet. And I'm curious if they're not looking over things and wondering if they should go ahead with this. So many things. South by Southwest canceled this past, and we've got the Emerald City Comic Con canceled. That's based in Seattle.
Yeah. I heard South by Southwest could possibly cost the city of Austin $3.5 to $4 million in lost revenue.
Oh yeah. It's a huge thing for them. E3 is a possibility of stopping as well because they're based in LA. And they get a lot of people coming in from by out of town, out of the country. And it's just not this is nobody's announced. E3 hasn't announced that they're going to stop or they're not going to go forward. In fact, they've said they're going to go forward. They're just going to keep looking at things. PAX hasn't given a thing at all. They haven't said anything. So I don't know what Penny Arcade Expo is going to do. But so far that's what
I would assume at this point, that those sorts of large scale, we're going to be going here year by year. They've probably already put down money for this, so they're probably watching the news and watching everything that's coming out at the moment to see what's actually happening. To actually, whether we actually go forward, bring all that money in, and then maybe contribute to what's happening or not. I would not see. They probably put down the money already for the space.
Well, yeah, and I am sure if the ESA probably wants to go through with that, so they don't have to refund everybody their stuff because they're going to lose money if they can't hold this thing because they've got the space rented from the LA Convention Center.
I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. I said 3 million. I'm sorry, 350 million.
Oh, that's how much?
350 million for the city of Austin losing revenue. That's
quite large.
My fault. Yeah, it's a huge impact.
Who else? There was another. I Am 8-Bit resigned as the E3 2020 creative director. Let me see if there's an update on this story. Returned a request for comment, declined to offer details on the reason for their departure. However, a representative added that the company has every confidence with the parties involved with E3. The ESA also responded with a statement as follows: "We can confirm that I Am 8-Bit is no longer part of the interagency group working on E3 2020. We greatly value their passion for their video game industry and the contributions they brought toward our vision for this year's show. We have an innovative and experienced team in place, including Endeavor's creative agency, event innovators, longtime E3 partner, blah, 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 all collaborating to bring to life an exciting, authentic experience for fans, the media, and the industry." I thought I Am 8-Bit backed out because of the scares on that, but they haven't given a reason as to why. It is with mixed emotions that I Am 8-Bit has decided to resign as creative director of what was to be an evolutionary E3 2020 floor experience. We've produced hundreds of gaming plus community events, and it was a dream to be involved with E3. We wish the organizers the best of luck. They have not given any reason as to why they have backed out of that, so it may not have anything to do with the coronavirus fears. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what is going to happen there. So that's on that. Let me keep going. Oh, the Rocket League World Championships, those got canceled. Minecraft had an event. They canceled that one because of that. Emerald City Comic Con, that Minecraft Festival was an event. They canceled that one as well. So there you go. And then South by Southwest was canceled also. What I wanted to bring up, summer music, there's so many things, man. I'm looking at the chat room now. Let's see. I wonder about summer music festivals from Lethal Migraine. That is very, very possible. That those are going to be. It really depends, you know. So far, there hasn't been any issue here in this state, and I know we have a couple of music festivals down south at the beach and everything. So far, those are still going ahead. But I would imagine if it gets worse, then it is going to be on. It'll be on the people who bought tickets. It'll be on them to decide to attend if the show goes forward. Yeah. Or it'll be on the show organizers, depending on what they are, as far as any kind of concerts or big events where a large group of people are going to be, to whether they continue to hold it or not. Nobody wants to be responsible for a mass infection like that. And it's,
of course. I would actually recommend anyone that has tickets like this to go and check with their direct people that they bought them from to what their policies are, because even in the UK, like for example in Northern Ireland here, we have tickets at the end of the month, and they put a specialist posting on their website in regards to if the coronavirus does affect their sort of their attendance and that sort of thing, that will be covered by the ticket prices. I don't know if that's going to be the same in the US, but if that's the case, I would definitely say check it out. Might as well cover your own self before going to these things.
The NBA, I believe, sent an internal memo to the respective teams and everybody else saying, prepare your players to possibly play games in front of an empty crowd. I mean, in front of an empty place. Empty arenas where the games go on, but there'll be empty arenas.
I know MLB did that once during those riots in Baltimore. They still had a game to play, but the arena, I think it was the Orioles Park. It was just completely empty.
It easily so from what, and I'm not giving you. Here's the thing, Beep, and this is what I've heard the most about anything: be prepared, but don't panic. Yeah. Just be prepared. Don't panic. So from what I understand, and I am nowhere near a doctor to really give you any kind of advice on this, it's just from what I have read, is that this thing easily spreads, very easily spreads. It's from my days of playing Plague Inc. It can spread, I believe, through human contact, the air, that sort of thing. A cough will send it out into the open for somebody to pick up.
Hence the reason all the masks were being
right, exactly.
Oh yeah, well, in regards to coronavirus, the COVID-19, from what I've read as well, the reason the reason why is because it's going to be in droplets of, mucus or saliva, that sort of thing, and it's going to be able to survive on surfaces for a long period of time, like maybe longer than what you would expect, and that's why everyone's encouraging to wash hands and that sort of thing, because the idea of actually washing hands is going to break down that barrier that's in front of the coronavirus. The way that it stays alive, it has a barrier around it, and the longer you wash your hands and the longer you apply that sort of friction and the heat and then the soap and everything else is actually going to break that everything down.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why that's, like, for example, the hand cream, not the hand cream, sorry,
Hand
the alcohol-based. Yeah, no, I was going to say the alcohol-based, the sanitizer thing that you rub your hands with.
Yeah.
That sort of thing actually does work, but it's always best if you can get to your sink and wash your hands. That's always going to be best for you.
Yeah, and like I said, nobody wants to be the one where somebody gets in who is infected and does not even know it, and then everybody in that arena was exposed, and now it's gone from this many to now this many because you had this event. And, E3, probably not a largely attended event, but it is a big thing. South by Southwest is huge, so I get that. Emerald City Comic Con is huge, so I understand that. Game Developers Conference, probably a smaller thing, but I get why they did it.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. PAX is a big thing, and it's in Seattle of all places, which is where that was kind of ground zero of where it actually entered the United States, was in Washington. So it's put them in a position, and I don't know what they're going to do about it, but we'll see, and we'll find out. But so I totally get that. Moving on to talk about the GeForce Now situation. Are you familiar with this at all, Motile?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I've read over this. There's an article, and let me post this because some people may be curious. I'm going to post this link into our chat room here so people can read it. GeForce Now is like Google Stadia, and for those of you who don't even know what either one of those things are, it's a service that allows you to stream your game into other places, like your tablet or another TV in the house or another computer in the house. It'll take your game and you can play it from the cloud, so you can play it on your phone or on your whatever, in different aspects.
So it's like Netflix with games.
Kind of. Google Stadia is like that, but it's a storefront.
Yeah.
If you want to stream your games, you have to buy those games on Google Stadia in order to do that.
Yeah.
GeForce Now did not have that. GeForce Now was free, but it had some stipulations. You could pay like a $5 a month fee and get better streaming, longer sessions, and maybe some other stuff that it involved with or whatever. If you're a free member, which everybody can sign up and be a free member, you'll get about a 1 hour of stream time before you're placed in a queue to stream again. And it won't be like the best. Look, I think access to 4K was the pay thing, but it won't be the best looking thing if you're a free subscriber. Yeah. But GeForce Now didn't do that. It took your games that you were already in your library and sent them up to the cloud so you could play them. That's all it did, and now people are pulling the support for that. It's seemingly a license issue, from what I understand. Developers and publishers are saying that's not what we sold them. That's not the intent with which we sold them that game. And since you're giving them a different intent than what we sold it for, we need a cut of that of some sort, I guess. Or they want to put a price on it or something. I'm not sure. But they're pulling their games based on what seems to be. It's a really weird situation. And Moltown, feel free to jump in because I know I'm talking a ton here. But it's a real strange situation where when you buy your game, you figure you can play your game. It's your game to play. Does it matter where I play it? I mean, it does if it's a console or PC. I can't obviously play any of my PC games on a console.
Nope.
So maybe it does provide this whole situation where if you're going to play it somewhere else, you need to pay for the license to play at that other place.
I'm always a little bit skeptical of something like this when it comes to play, because whenever you're talking about licensing and that sort of thing, it always comes down to whoever has the license in the first place, which is the consumer, the person that actually has it, that has meant to use it in the way they, the way they want to.
I mean, you say that, but I can't. Any game I buy on Steam doesn't mean I can play it through the Epic Store.
But it does mean that you can stream your game from any sort of other device. Like, that's why the whole idea of the whole Streambox came into play. Like, they're not using their own license to transfer from the license from your PC to the Streambox to the TV. They're only taking the actual data from one to the other and publishing it, as in producing it, reproducing it on your PC, on your TV instead. The reason why I am skeptical about this sort of line of thinking is because of the fact that they probably don't have an experience. Like, my whole thought is, this is only personal thought, this is a whole speculative type of thing, but the idea is that they're probably not getting the type of experience that they want the end users to have, and because of that, they're getting the people are pulling out. They're saying that our games aren't running well on this, and we're going to pull our games from this to make sure that the end user isn't having a worse off experience. It's kind of like the same thing when you would get the two publishing of the same game, like Call of Duty, when they would publish on like an Xbox from a previous generation and an Xbox from the current generation, and they'd be like, well, this one's going to work out perfectly, but the other one, well, that's the dumbed down version that we're going to let them play that, but they're going to have to properly upgrade. This is the only thing that the way I'm coming at it is because I feel like this is a whole licensing thing, and the fact that it came so late in the fact they've been signed up for all these things, and they've been allowing to play for all this time as well, that a lawsuit hasn't happened before they started the project, because they would have had to get people on board with this. GeForce is a big business. It's not like they don't run things through their lawyers, run things through everyone that they can, that they think of, because they are top of their game. I know AMD is doing great. Like we talk about Ryzen, talking about the processors, they're doing absolutely fantastic. But in regards to like graphics and that sort of thing, like we've got to say, like GeForce, that sort of experience and such, like has them beat, price to performance overall in the market share of ideas and the market share of how they want to just basically continue on and how they're going. So I would be very surprised if this was actually licensing, with the fact that Fortnite and Epic Store and everything else is actually pushing behind them, saying, no, we can do it. That's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's a licensing issue. It honestly, to me, as an outside observer, not actually in the industry myself, it honestly sounds like it's something to do with the end user experience, and it's just like, well, we don't think that our games are actually going to work properly on this, so we're going to pull back. Again, that's just a personal perspective.
Yeah, no, I understand. I feel like I agree with you. NVIDIA would not have just done this and said, this is what we're going to do, and we're not going to consult with anybody on this project. Of course, they had to have, and they had to have gotten some sort of agreements, or at least enough of an agreement to think, yeah, there's no harm, no foul here. We can go ahead and do this. It's not going to hurt anything. And, of course, they are complying with the wishes of everybody that says, no, pull our games, don't do that. They're not really raising a fuss, but it has sort of, part of me feels like it's making the publishers or the developers look bad, because it's making them kind of look a little greedy maybe. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be greedy. I mean, they should get what they're due, but at the same sense, I've already bought the game and I'm just streaming it. I'm not reselling it. Mm-hmm. I'm not making a copy. It's not like what's going on with GOG that we talked about. I guess it was last week we talked about it.
Yeah.
Where GOG is DRM free, and they're also allowing everybody to give refunds in 30 days, no questions asked.
Hello, loophole.
So, well, I mean, it's not necessarily a loophole. Your game is already DRM free. If I buy it, I can still make copies and sell it.
Yeah.
Regardless of if they ever had a refund in the first place. So why get upset that people can now do a refund? You know, they can still just do the same thing, and you get your
but
money.
Again, like I know, in a consumer's perspective, like I think GOG is doing a good job. Like, you know, again, they're associated, you know, over practiced, and their
Got
staff
about 30
and everything
seconds,
else. You know. Oh well, then I'll just say that I think GOG's doing a overall good idea. You know, that's all good.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry to cut you off. We got less than a minute to go
right.
before we're cut off. So thanks for calling in, buddy. You have a great one, and we'll talk to you. We'll see you next week.
Have a great day, everybody. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Take care now.
Don't forget the time change next week. Anyway, thanks, everybody, for joining us. We have got to run. It's been a great show. I appreciate everybody being here, and we'll do it again next week. Have a fun one, and we'll see you next Saturday. Music here from a game called Anomaly Warzone. It's the main theme for that. Have a good week. Bye.